Let's roll, boys. Pass the prop back here again. MLB show. Monday slate. Little light today, though. Joining as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Like you said, not quite the humongous Monday slate we're used to sometimes, a little bit more calm after a weekend of action, but I'm excited. I think we got some good picks today, a little bit lower volume for me overall, but like I said, I found a spot I really like, and I know you did as well. So definitely excited to get into it.
Yeah, a lot smaller than these last couple of weeks, but that's kind of good. That means maybe we'll have a little bit more on our Thursday slate as well, because we'll get people going there on that, having the travel day today and getting that 3-game set starting on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So should be good. Excited for today still. And I think it'll be a good one. So let's look at last slate. I do not even know how we did. I know how I did. I don't remember yours. How did yours do?
I believe, I went 0-2 on this one right here. Ryan with, oh my God, Ryan. I checked in the 4th inning, 0 walks. Closed my phone, beautiful. Phone blows up 5 minutes later. It's done. Over. Blah blah blah. 2 walks in the 4th. That one killed this. Ugh, that one pissed me off.
Yeah, I think I saw your Nationals got that sweep, or almost got that sweep too.
At least I was there yesterday, or I was there on Saturday. So I'm 1-0 on the season officially. But yeah, not what I expected. I mean, luckily I did have Tatis total bases and home run, which I gave out on VSiN, which saved my day a little bit that I didn't just do the parlay. But yeah, who would have thought? Obviously, the Braves ended up fucking me. I forget, I think that was Irvin on the mound a couple days ago. But luckily, I am 1-0 in Nats games, at least. I corrected that the next day. We got a Gore W on the mound. So that was nice. Hopefully, can make it another one pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went 1-1. I had a lot of money on Crochet. Talked about it ad nauseum on the show. Was very, very heavily invested. DFS, everything. Unfortunately for me, 55% owned on DFS, and my biggest contest was kind of annoying. But obviously, I had them in lower options and parlays. I had all the way up to 10. Felt pretty good about it. I kind of got nervous there for a sec because I'm like, man, dude, it's just almost looking too easy. Whenever it starts rolling like that, I'm like, all right, well, I don't expect this to continue. And you just kept going. You just kept cooking the Red Sox. And 6 innings, I think he had 10 or 11 Ks. Hell of a start. Crochet obviously becoming the guy that I'm backing almost every time he's going out there. It was good. Logan Webb one, I had a bad read there. The Rangers got to him a little bit, and then the whole next inning, they had a 30-pitch inning on him. And I'm like, yes, we're good. 5th inning comes around. They have Tavares, who's ass. First pitch swing, ground out. All these are on balls, mind you. They're not even strikes. And Duran, both fly out. First pitch of the at-bat, have a 7-pitch inning, and it just kind of killed it from there. So he ended up going 7 in that one. Fott obviously gave that up in like the 1st inning or 2nd inning. Felt really good about that. So moving on to today, we have a negative record, but we do have almost 10 units still profit on here with obviously all the long shots we've hit so far this season. We don't have long shots on the board yet. Maybe we'll look at one and find one here, Stu. But let's talk this slate a little bit.
Sounds good. Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, obviously maybe not the biggest slate in the world, but I don't know about you. I think there are actually a couple of games that I'm definitely into watching today. And for me, my number one, it's the one I have some bets in as well. I like this Astros-Giants game, man. I'm excited. I think that could be like a lot of offense in that one, obviously, because I know obviously Harrison, highly touted, coming in. The stats don't look terrible, but the advanced stats are not great, man. And the velocity's been down recently. On the other side, Arrighetti, I mean, those road stats, insane so far this year, and not insane in a good way, right? So we've already talked about the Giants being like an inconsistent team and stuff like that, but I think this game where we could get like a sneaky, really entertaining game, like not even, best game on the slate, just like offense from both sides, close game. So for me, that was the number one that popped out to me for today.
Yeah, I'll never have the Giants in a game that I want to watch, bro. I hate that team.
I like Harrison.
Everything about that team. There's nothing that I like about that team outside of Duvall when he comes in.
True.
Like, it's so bad. So bad. Their roster is so shit. All right. Let's move on to mine here. There's not that many options, but I think the Yankees Royals, especially with the Royals at home, the Royals at home are a different beast, man. Their offense is crazy different. Home road. I had the splits because I did have a couple fades when the Royals were on the road last time, and it paid off. And I think that's going to be definitely the game I want to talk about for sure. Rodon, obviously very hit or miss, but there is so much righty power in this lineup. Obviously, Garcia at the top, fantastic. You still got Bobby Witt. You still have Sal Perez. Vinny Pasquantino, much better against lefties than I would have expected. Hunter Renfroe really only in there to hit lefties. Don't even forget about my boy Nelson Velasquez, who literally does nothing but hit home runs and strike out. Like, does nothing else, dude. Just nothing else. So I think it'll be a fun start. I also think that if it's warm, which it is warm here, I would assume it's probably warm in Kansas City, that ball is going to be flying. So I'm excited for that one, and hopefully we continue to see some runs scored in Kansas City.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's going to be a fun one right there as well. My biggest gripe with that game is I was thinking I'd get a couple more games where I could play Judge walk. I played it last game, like no Soto, no protection. Like I feel like Judge is getting walked every single game now, but it's minus 160 already. So that kind of pissed me off seeing that. But overall, little minus the star power without Soto right there, but definitely agree that should be a good spot right there. The only problem with the Yankees for me is like I only want to watch the top of the lineup. I only want to watch Aaron Judge. You know what I mean? Like outside of that, it can definitely get a little bit ugly, especially with a good starting pitcher on the other side.
Yeah, and that's also what sucks about the Astros too, man. I mean, the rest of that lineup has been kind of shit. Kyle Tucker being out kind of kills everything, you know. So obviously, I have Kyle Tucker in fantasy. I'm gonna probably have to bench him this week, which sucks because he's been so good for us and for the show. So I guess we can get this thing started here. So we got 12 people in here live with us first couple minutes. Appreciate you guys. I know it was a little later today. Had some stuff with work pop up and starting a little later with the summer coming along. So I will kick it over to you, Stu. Looks like we got 2 spots on today's slate that we like pretty big.
Yes, sir. I got a little bit of a compilation right here. We got Kyle Harrison, 5 hits allowed, Bobby Witt Jr. to record a hit, minus 120 over on DraftKings. Start out with Bobby Witt, obviously a little bit easier of the leg of the parlay. Really like the consistency, man. 10-game hit streak, hit in 20 of his last 21 games coming in. I mean, we know how good Bobby Witt is. When you look at the Cortez matchup, he's normally not someone I'm really betting against in the hit market that often, just because when he does get hit, you know, he can be a little bit of it's a power or nothing kind of situation, right? You obviously mentioned with the righty power in this lineup, but I think Bobby Witt obviously does it all. I mean, his approach at the plate is insane. And when you really go into like the advanced stats too, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody hit or have an expected batting average of 333 against all 5 of an opposing pitcher's pitches. Even like that nasty slider, which, you know, I don't necessarily want to count on right there. 333 expected batting average against the lefty slider so far this year. I mean, like I said, I bet batter props like all the time, and I'm not sure I've seen the 330 or above against five different pitches, including that cutter, which is hitting 400 against. Obviously, a good weapon normally to jam those righties inside. But the consistency with Witt has just been so insane this year. He's really my go-to guy in terms of hit parlays and finding, you know, kind of that juice reducing leg that you need, just because, like I said, consistency off the chart, 20 of 21, including a lot of really good pitchers in there. And you mentioned it at the beginning. This team is a different beast at home, 363 batting average at home so far this year versus Cortez, who, 100-point leap from his road and home batting average so far on the season. Not something I expected, obviously, but he's been hit up a couple times on the road this year. So definitely love that. Over to Harrison and the hits allowed. This is one of the first one that jumped off to me. One, I like the line value a lot. The 5.5 is around minus 290 right now. Or sorry, the 4.5 is minus 290. But the 5.5 itself is already at that minus 150, minus 160 range, which means to really get a playable number, you're going to have to actually go up to that like 7 hits, right? Just to get a plus money by itself, which is the most aggressive line I've actually seen on Harrison so far this year. But it checks out. He's over this 5 hits number in 10 of his 13 games. And when you look at more specific, at 2 of those losses, those were 5 walk outings where he had some absolute blow up, you know, no control whatsoever, nowhere near his A stuff. So when you kind of take out those 2 explosion outings right there, the consistency, right, looks even better, 10 of 11. And for me, once again, this Astros lineup 4th overall against lefties on the season. You mentioned Tucker out of there is obviously an MVP. When you lose an MVP piece like that, you're never going to be happy. But man, you still got against lefties, especially Bregman crushing the ball. It looks like he is going to play. I saw he had to exit last game earlier, but by all indications and everything I've read, it looks like he's suiting up. But I mean, Pena, Diaz, obviously Altuve, someone I like a lot as the table setter in this lineup to get on base, especially with a guy that has some walk problems, right? He's toned it down these last couple starts, but when you notice he toned it down, the velocity has also gone down, which is a huge thing for me, right? This is a team, and this is a pitcher that's throwing his four-seam fastball 63% of the time, and we've now seen the velocity come down a couple ticks. We're kind of sitting in that 93, 94 when he debuted at that 97. So I'm not the one to say if there's some mechanical issues going on, but from everything I've read from the Giants beat reporters, it doesn't seem like he's in his best place right now. It seems like they're in a kind of a tinkering phase. And for me, overall, I don't think you want to be tinkering when you face the Astros, right? Just to be completely honest, especially against the lefty right here. I think 5 is a very easy baseline to clear. Like I said, 10 of 13. A lot of those are in some of his better outings as well, which is exactly what I talk about this market, where I want a guy that even if he's actually kind of overperforming a little, 5 is kind of such a reasonable benchmark that I think we can still get there. So love the combo here at -120 over on DraftKings.
Yeah. Don't hate it. You know how I am when I get these like numbers on these Astros with playing them on the road versus at home. I just hate them so much on the road, especially when you have Crawford boxes in there that a pop-up gets out. It's just such a big difference when you head to San Francisco in this spot. But 5 hits, I mean, I don't think I would take his regular line, which I think is 6.5. I wouldn't touch that. But don't mind the buy down. Obviously, Bobby Witt's Bobby Witt. I mean, he's getting to that point where he's playable whenever you want at any point, however you want to play him. So he's been that good. So we have our guy Thomas asking if we liked Sal Perez today. I don't know, like in terms of what, like to get a hit. If hits, runs, RBI is less than 130, maybe I'll bet that. But at 1.5, but I don't think I want to play any juice in a spot like this. Even though I do like Sal Perez today, I do like that spot for him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's a decent spot, and obviously, my biggest thing is like if I like a bunch of guys in the lineup, maybe you go to like a team total kind of thing over individual. But I agree, it also depends on the market as well. You know, maybe a home run sprinkle isn't even the worst thing in the world with Cortez and how he can give up that pop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's head into my spot here. I'll pull up one thing on my screen here first. All right. I'm playing a 1.5 unit play. I know I don't do these very much, but I've had a few of these last couple of weeks. They've been good to us. And I like this spot a lot. Eric Fetty on the bump, facing off against the good old reliable Seattle Mariners. Joey Estes on the mound against San Diego. Let's talk San Diego first. In that matchup, San Diego reminds me of my Brewers quite a bit, man. They can't hit lefties, but they absolutely destroy right-handed pitching. Padres are actually 3rd in the MLB in OPS versus right-handed pitching, 757, 1 point behind my Brewers, right? Obviously, that's an important thing to talk about because obviously Estes is a righty, and they have really, really struggled versus those left-handed guys. I do like Estes as a pitcher, DFS pitcher, but not really much as a real-life pitcher. Doesn't get deep enough in these games. And the one time he did, it was, ground ball, but he wasn't really missing bats. I don't know. I don't expect this to continue, especially when you have Dylan Cease on the other side, who's facing Oakland. Yeah, I mean, not much else I want to talk about there. I think Cease should mow them down, but I think Fetty's my favorite pitcher on the slate if I'm doing DFS. If it's FanDuel, I think I'd play him because he's a lot cheaper, and you have only one pitcher to play. Fetty obviously going to be carrying the load on this. I think he's like -155, but again, I don't play that. Dude, this Mariners team, I talk about all the time, sucks, dude. They're so bad. They strike out so much. As of right now, let's have a little fun here. There's 2 teams with over 475 strikeouts versus right-handed pitching. It's the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners. All right. Now the fun part. The Oakland A's have 100 more ABs than Seattle. against right-handed pitching. And Seattle only has 5 less strikeouts than Oakland. So that's a lot, dude. These guys are striking out at like a 28% clip against righties. They just don't have any pop either outside of, Julio, right? I'm not really worried about it. Cal Raleigh's been terrible this year. Rojas and Crawford at the top of the order have been terrible this year. Fetty's actually not been as bad, not been as good as I've expected him to be with his numbers there. But over these last couple, he's been starting to get a little bit unlucky, and I know everybody's kind of fallen off the table with him because he started out so well. Everybody was watching him, but I mean, he's got a 23.5% K percentage, 48% ground ball, which if you're keeping the ball in the yard, I really don't know how you're really going to score against him because this team is really just trying to hit bombs. That's really what the Mariners do is swing for the fence and hopefully they can hit a couple, right? He's given up 8 homers this year. Obviously, most of that coming to left-handed bats, but the home road splits I know are scary. He has a .95 ERA at home versus a 5 on the road. And usually I'm really big into that, but man, dude, like you get the best park upgrade you can ask for from where he's at to now going into Seattle, man. I mean, Seattle is probably top 3 in terms of best pitching park to throw in, right? I mean, that's got to be right there, right? And then you look at the teams he's played, right, on the road so far this year. He's faced Cleveland, who's been really good, gave up 3 runs on 3 bombs in Cleveland. He had an 11K game against Minnesota, who obviously does not do well against righties and strikes out a lot against righties. They are top 5 in that number. He gave up 5 to St. Louis, which is just a bad start, right? Not a good one. 5 against Toronto at Toronto. Then he faced the Brewers, who are, really good against right-handed pitching. So I just talked about that. And he had 8 Ks in that one and had 4 walks. So he sucked in that outing. He gave up 9 hits and still got 8 Ks, right? And then you want to go to his last outing. It was at Chicago. He still got to this number, gave up 3 runs. So we've seen it even in his bad outings, finding a way to get there. Now you have the best matchup in terms of right-handed strikeouts, and especially right-handed striking out at home. You get a huge park upgrade. And obviously when you look at some of the teams he's done really well against, dude shoved for 6 Ks against Baltimore. Dude shoved for 6 Ks on 3 hits against Washington, right? He shoved against Cleveland and gave up no runs in that start. And these are all the home starts. Against Kansas City, he shoved for him, didn't give up any runs. Like he's had a good year, missing enough bats, and it's going to be big to get these lefties out because they're going to be throwing a lot of them at him. I think we're going to start to see that cutter. The cutter had a 30% whiff rate against lefties so far this year. And I think that's going to be a big one here because he's going to be able to miss those barrels. And obviously when you have guys swinging for the fence, I don't think that they're going to be able to do too much here. I really like the spot for Fetty, 25% K rate. And obviously this Mariners team is just going up there and pretty much just swinging as hard as they can and hoping one of them goes out.
Yeah, I like this combo a lot. I mean, obviously started with the no-win, but I mean, a no-win against Cease, especially when it's the Athletics, is probably one of the better parlay pieces that even exist, right? So definitely like that. And it's been fun to see Fetty kind of transform his arsenal, right? As someone that's watched this guy for so long, he obviously went KBO for a season and was the MVP over there and came back, and it's showing, man. And like you said, especially that cutter, that jumped off to me as well, that 29-30% whiff rate already. I mean, you're going to need that to be successful, but he's got a huge pitch mix, right? He's throwing a bunch of different off speed with a bunch of different, angles on it and stuff like that. So I definitely like the look. And 6 strikeouts is a pretty reasonable number. You actually see it moving up already to that 6.5 in some spots as well. So while it's still at that, more reasonable -160, definitely want to get that because I bet it keeps moving as the day goes on.
Yeah, I know you brought it up too. Like his daily leader, he's only at +800. Like better odds than fucking Rodon, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Dylan Cease at +300. Like, you're just seeing these numbers are pretty nuts, man. I mean, to see these numbers at that price is pretty crazy. But do like this spot and do like the matchup as well with him being able to limit home runs, especially in a bigger park. So should be good. We can recap here, Stu, and figure it out because I think we're only both dropping one play. Do you like any of the pitchers for a win today? Is there anybody? Do you see that question in the chat? Is there somebody that you do like to record a win in this spot? Obviously, there's 2 really big ones with Dylan Cease and Logan Gilbert with those numbers. But I mean, you're looking at Gilbert at plus 115 as odds there. Also, if you want to go over to Dylan Cease, he's at minus 105.
Yeah, it's hard not to really like Cease. I mean, we don't love. Yeah, I don't know. Cease is like one of those guys I really wouldn't go against. And even Burns at the top, I don't hate it. Plus 120. I mean, I get that it's not the best matchup in the world, but anytime I can get Burns at a pretty solid price, even though the pitcher on the other side is obviously a very strong one as well, it's still something that I would consider at plus money.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I can never take anybody at minus odds to win a game, right? I mean, I never like to do that unless it's like Wheeler or a guy that I know can give me 18 to 21 outs and bullpen behind him, and they're facing a can, which unfortunately they're not really doing that in this spot. But sorry, I thought I had to burp there. So I don't know if I had to pick one. I think I have to do Gilbert just because it's plus money and it's a pretty similar odds. I mean, in terms of the game odds. So I think that would be my one that I would pick if I had to. Would probably just go with Gilbert just because he's plus 115.
I'm curious about the Blue Jays Milwaukee game. Obviously, you're a big Milwaukee guy. You get pretty good prices, plus 200 on each of those guys who both, induce a decent amount of contact, can get deep into those games. That kind of just feels more of an opinion on who you think can win that game. I'm curious if either of those stick out to you.
Colin Raisman, okay. Not great. Doesn't go deep in games. Doesn't face the raw lineup 3 times through. If he gets through 5, then maybe. But Toronto's bullpen is so dog shit. Like, I don't want to play around with that. Like, it's like it's a 3-leg parlay. You need that bullpen to do it too. And I don't trust that bullpen. The Brewers against righties, I do like. But obviously, I respect Berrios. Respect his ability to keep the ball on the ground. So I don't think I have anything in that game. I really don't know. If you had to make me pick a side, I don't even think I would know who I would pick. With money line or the over. I don't know what I would pick because it's just such a high variance game. I would probably just completely pass on that, honestly. And it sucks because it is my Brewers.
Yeah, and I think it could be a pretty solid game to watch today as well. See how those teams match up as well. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. And honestly, the win market today is not my favorite in general. I like it more on the bigger slates. I think you get some crazy prices sometimes that you just don't expect at all. Well, here everything looks about what you'd expect it to look like.
No, for sure. No, in a smaller slate, it's tougher just to find one that you do like. So, all right. So, do you have a long shot today or no?
I don't have any long shots right now. No, I will bet Bregman if he's in the lineup for a homer. I'll probably bet Bregman, honestly, but I want to see he's in the lineup 100% first.
Yeah, I don't. Who's throwing for Baltimore or for Pepio's throwing? Damn, I'm looking at like the daily highest scoring team games and shit. But I mean, maybe you play your plus 450 on that highest scoring game being the Giants. I mean, that might be a spot.
I think I will. I like that. I haven't looked at that market before, honestly. Is that FanDuel or DraftKings?
Yeah, it's only FanDuel.
Okay.
I just think this is crazy, dude. Like, Yankees are plus 700 to be the highest scoring team when Lugo's not been bad. I know they're. I don't know, dude. I almost play the Royals at plus 1200. Fuck. Just take the variance on Rodon and hope he sucks. But I'll probably look around at that. Like I said, I've been kind of behind on all this stuff today. But as always, if you guys follow us over on Twitter, you'll be able to tell what we're rolling with. Anything from you, Stu, that you want to talk about before we head out?
Well, I'm curious to get your reaction as a college guy. Did you see Dan Hurley officially rejected the Lakers' 5-year, $70 million head coaching offer? It looks like he's returning to UConn this year. I don't know if you saw that. It happened right when the show started.
I didn't see that. I don't know. I'm not really as surprised as other people. I don't think his style would work at all. You're going to tell me that this dude is going to go from yelling at college kids to coaching probably the best player in the last, 30 years? And he's probably what, 10 years younger or 10 years older than LeBron? Like, That's a tough spot, man. You're gonna have all the people on you, dude. I would go back to UConn too. Fuck, I don't have to deal with that. They better give them a hell of a pay raise. Though.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some conflicting stuff, but I saw Woj. Say Woj said he couldn't pass up history. He couldn't pass up a chance to go for that third straight title. But I don't know, man. I mean, that's like the biggest coaching contract you're going to possibly get. But it's interesting. Like every video you see of him, he's like screaming. It's like boot camp style, it's get all these guys in line, follow the system. Just imagining that with like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and all their veteran buddies. It's just so funny. Like I could see it with like the Thunder, a young team or something where you can really implement your vision. But yeah, not a Lakers team like that. But once I saw that paycheck, that $70 million for a coach, I mean, that's player money. I mean, that's once in a lifetime money right there. That he did turn down. So I don't know. Do you think they're going for a three-peat this year?
I don't know. I haven't looked into the recruiting stuff. I doubt it. They had like all fifth-year guys, like 3 or 4 fifth-year guys last year, and starting to get away from all the COVID guys, the guys with the extra COVID years. So it's like starting to get people that are actually not 27 years old playing fucking college basketball. So it'll be nice.
Yeah, that definitely helps. All right. Well, that was just the biggest story, of the day, obviously. And it broke like right when we were live right there. I know you're more of a college guy than I am, but I was kind of hoping he'd go to the NBA just to see some new blood. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see one of these losers go back and, retreads or whatever, go back and coach this team. But that's probably what's going to happen now.
Yeah, it's going to be, I don't even know who would go there, who would even be the other options, but it is what it is, dude. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to much NBA anything, so I don't watch ESPN anymore because they're fucking awful. So it's been a while. I don't really keep up with the news unless it goes to Twitter,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, man. I've actually been the opposite side where I've had it more, and it makes your brain hurt. Like just having it on the background more, and like the things they say, it's like shocking. You think it's like just a Twitter clip or two, but no, it's like hours of Stephen A. Smith, all these guys just going on the most insane tangents ever. And I'm glad the women's basketball stuff is getting the hype. I was there on Friday at the Mystics game. Definitely good stuff. But the way these guys talk about it is going to like kill this. Like they're doing the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. Every single conversation is extremely toxic. Like there's no good points being made by any side. It's just full on like toxic argument. So I don't know, man. They got to get that change quickly because it seems like the demand is there. But yeah, I don't know. It's going downhill fast.
Yeah, no, I haven't. A couple of WNBA things I got to watch a little bit, but not. I wasn't gonna watch the Olympic ones anyway, really.
Yeah.
So if Kayla Clark in it, like, and I would probably watch it, but I'm a casual. I'm not like a guy who's in the weeds there. I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch them play unless I was watching her play, obviously. But more of a Midwest thing too, just because I've seen her a lot of those games there from Iowa too as well. So it's good. It's good. Obviously, just re-downloaded FanDuel for the first time because they sent me a message. Did you see that? I posted yesterday.
I saw, yeah.
Fucking A, dude. And I'm like, I got the message like 5-10 minutes before the slate started, bro. And I played my the only contest left. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I would have won everything, bro. I scored like 210. I'm like, I don't think I ever scored that high. Ever. Yeah. And it's the game I don't give a shit because I'm like, I didn't even look. I didn't even look until I got a notification that Jake Berger hits a fucking dinger, dude. And he went 0 for the whole game. I'm like, oh, shit. I got like 3 dudes hit a homer today. Damn, that never happened.
So are you –
oh, I only – so annoying.
Sorry, I was just going to say, are you making your return to FanDuel then? Are you going back today? Like, are you doubling up? What's going on?
I withdrew a lot of it. I hate how FanDuel makes it. Dude, it's like 48 hours to get your money. DraftKings, you withdraw, it's immediate. You get your money immediately. It's just like FanDuel is so like they were like the first big one, but they so bad, dude. They've fallen so far behind. Their contests suck. Like it's crazy once you switch over. Like I'm kind of taking a break from DFS, just focusing on the bets. Obviously, it's hard enough to win in MLB. It's hard to do it in baseball for sure. So I'm not playing over there for a little while. Maybe the only thing I'll play is UFC, just because I like their contest better. But fuck, dude. Was not expecting to take one down. I know it was only 250 people, but I fucking won by like 30. I'm like, fuck, I should have played a different contest, but there was none open. So I didn't get the email before, unless it was 10 minutes before. I'm like, oh, you got money. Because I haven't played there in like 2 years. It's like, come back and play. I'm like, all right, well, play one. And it's the only Slate thing left. So, fuck. I was like, damn, I could have paid off a lot more shit than just a couple $100, but it is what it is.
I thought the only people that send those emails are like the scam offshore websites. Like I get one of those like once a week from like Bet Online or like Bet9. That's like, hey, you still have $45. We'll give you a free spin. We'll give you blah blah blah. Like I thought that was only a scammy offshore tactic. I didn't know the big boys were sending you those emails as well.
Yeah, no, they're just saying like, oh, we haven't seen you in a while. Here's $5 free. I'm like, all right, awesome. Well, we'll see what happens. And I'm like, all right, well, just throw it in a contest because I'm like, I'm not going to be over here much. Yeah, maybe I'll play today with just like $50 or something, see what happens. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be entering those contests. I have my PPS logo on there too, so hopefully I can use that and get some money here. So, all right, so you good to go?
Yeah, all good for me.
Yeah, the dog's popping up here, ready to go out for a walk. So usually doesn't pop into the screen very much. But, yeah, I think it must be walk time if he's already popping up here. So, should be good. Obviously, not a big slate, so we don't have that many plays. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you drop them in the comment section. We usually get to everything there. Obviously, thank you guys for popping in. We'll be back Wednesday. Keep an eye out on when we're going to go live Wednesday. Obviously, my schedule gets all fucked up now, so I'm going to be all over the place. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Best of luck today. I know it's a small slate, but good luck on all your bets, and we will see you on Wednesday for another round of Pass Prop.